today. It's cheesecake. And let me see what it is. It looks like macaroni and cheese. I think that's what they give to me. It looks very fattening, but it is what comes with Christmas season and everything, all the goodies and everything. And I hope that you are having something, whatever it is that you don't take a bite of something if you that, and if you don't, if you have more than enough, make sure that you share it with somebody. It is December the 23rd, 2 days more. It's Christmas Day. Tomorrow it is Christmas Eve day, as you would know, and it's an entire season as we move towards the end of the year. A brand new year beckons, and it's 2021. Is it going to be better? Is it going to be like this year? We don't know. What we do know is that we should be very thankful that we have made it this far, and it is about time that we dust off, all the remnants, all the pains, and everything that comes with 2020, and let us strive for a better 2021. So I want to say welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana show as we prepare for tomorrow's big day. It's a big day in Kaieteur Radio because we are going to be having a Christmas concert right here on radio. There's going to be dancing. Kevin Smith is going to be dancing. Raj is going to be doing some kind of Pakistani dance. I'm not sure what it is, but whatever it is, I'm going to be trying something. I'm not sure what it is. It's going to be something with two legs or something. But we are going to be having a packed studio tomorrow. All the hosts and everybody. We're going to have some surprise guests, but most of all, for you, the people of Guyana, we are going to be bringing to you, what we do best, which is to entertain you, to keep you riveted to your seat, to make sure that you are in with us right here at the Kaieteur News Studio. So tomorrow is where it's all happening. And this time, what we're going to do, instead of 1 to 3, we're going directly until 4 o'clock tomorrow. Why? Because it's Christmas Eve day. And we want to party while you party. And we can't be working all the time and you guys are there. We want to party with you. So we could, while everybody can be gathered in the studio tomorrow, we could very well do it virtually. I think Mr. Lal, we could get him to commit right away. Glenn Lal, to have a dance. He likes to dance. He knows how to coil and do the normal things, and so that comes very good with the people that likes to party and things like that. He likes to have a good time, and he shows us. He says, "You can't beat me in pools. You can't beat me in anything, and you can't definitely beat me in dance." And I'm not sure what he's singing, but he has a big mouth, right? So maybe we could probably put him. So we're gonna have him in the studio. Maybe we're gonna have some other people who's just gonna be very surprised or surprise us by dropping into the studio here. So it's December the 23rd, 2020, right here on Kaieteur Radio. We coming to you live from our Saffron Street, Charleston studio here. You could get us on 99.1 in Esquimalt and Demerara. In Berbice, it's none other than 99.5 FM. We also coming to you live on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream YouTube. I'm all excited here in the studio. I hope that you're feeling the vibes. I know it's Christmas. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. In a very short while, we're gonna have some officials from GPL in the studio here, and we're gonna be talking a little. We're gonna cut them short today because we want to continue with our normal thing. But it's important because GPL and a lot of people, they have been going up the road and with them for a little while, and GPL wants to change the tune when it comes to the way that people view them. The citizenry view GPL, a state-owned company which has been providing electricity to the people of Guyana, and they have been on the fire because we've been having these blackouts and things like that. What is causing it? What does it really take? What are some of the challenges? We're trying to get an understanding. And of course, they've been coming here talking, and it's good to have that. Next week, E-Networks in the house. Want to say good day to Vishuk Prasad and his staff is there, E-Networks. And, tomorrow, I think there's going to be some goodies available, compliments of a couple of people, including E-Networks. I want to say good day to Vishuk Prasad and team there. Always been a very good supporter of this program when it comes to you guys are doing a fantastic job there, and of course to all the people who would have been listening, joining this program here, we want to say good day to you because he's saying a good day to you too. As we speak right now, the National Assembly is I think it is in session right now. Maybe it's broken for lunch. Did after a little while convened this morning, and we would have had Unis Waldron, Minister of Tourism, Trade and Commerce, I think it is, would have been taking the oath. And you could recall that there were questions over her dual citizenship, and she said she would have given it up. The court has ruled that that something was wrong there, and in any case, she took the oath again this morning there in Parliament, back again in Parliament there, and I will explain to you what I mean by that. Back in Parliament 2 years later, no other than Sharon Das Prasad this morning in Parliament as we speak. Also, I'm going to come back and talk a little bit that Sharon Das in Parliament. How did that happen? Well, we're going to be back and we're going to be telling you a little bit that because these are some of the things that we pay attention to. And there are two sides and three sides to every story. Guy Oil. Guy Oil countrywide strikes, and you would know that there's a strike right across the country by the workers. They're saying that they want some benefits, some increases. They haven't been given it. Yet Guy Oil is giving away promotions to all its customers right across this country. You know, Guy Oil is sells a little cheaper than the other gas stations across Guyana. They run a string, so that state-owned company run a string of gas stations right across this country. Burby says about Demerara, and you would have known also that they are right there in Providence as well as in Georgetown, several stations here. And they announced that they're going to do promotion. Staffer says they applied for some increase, and so they're striking now. And so that would have thrown a span in the works because you know a lot of people have been using the government agencies are using Guy Oil there, and then they pay at the end of the month. And so it's going to have some kind of impact as a scramble. It could not have come at the worst time for Guy Oil. But you know, the People's Democratic Rights are at work here. We can't see anything except that Guy Oil has they have to fix this issue very very quickly. Talk to the people there as quickly because it is a lot of dependency on that particular company there for the provision of gas and other products that they would be bringing into the country. So we are going to be headed straight. It's just about 12 minutes after 1 here in Guyana, this beautiful country of ours. And if you were in Guyana last evening, you would know that the rain said me because I was going home and I had to put on my hazard. I saw many vehicles stuck at the corner of the road. Maybe something happened with the water in the system or so, but it rained cats and dogs last evening, and I know there were some blackouts in some places, some flooded places across the city as well. What I could tell you, it was so bad in the road that you could barely see. The visibility was poor, although there road lights and so on. You had to take your time and crawl with your hazard lights on and so on. So, fortunately, the traffic it has picked up somewhat. The East Bank Road was pretty good until you reach about the Harbour Bridge area there, and that was a nightmare. I had to do diversion back of Eccles there and then get out of there just to reach the station in time. Fortunately, that did happen. But those who stuck around the bridge there, it's going to be a little longish haul. Around the La Penitence area, which is a bottleneck, it seems to have been flowing pretty smoothly until you come up on the by the Stabroek area along Lombard Street there. And those on the East Bank Road would know what I'm talking about exactly. It's a bottleneck there. So I want to say good day to all the drivers right across Guyana, all the housewives and all the house husbands as well. Good day to you. I hope that we are finding it to find some joy in our system right about now. And like I said before, we might not have as much as last year, but let me tell you this: people shopping, and there is a festive season. There's never going to be a time where everybody is going to have all that they want, but we could be joyous. We could be thankful. We should be grateful that we have life, that we could live to fight another day. And that's the way that I look at things right here in Guyana. So to all the businesses right across Guyana, I want to say thank you very much. I hope that you have done a little well. We know it would have been a very harsh year for everybody. It was not only tough for the government and for the people of Guyana, but for the businesses especially. They would have taken a beating, bad beating there. A lot of them would not be able to recover. A lot of them would be looking. People would have had to come out and look, seek out a job just to make ends meet. But whatever it is, we will live to fight another day. We're very resilient people. We're very tough people, and we've been through so much that these things would not. We're gonna forget this in a very short while. We're gonna move on because that's what life is about. It's evolving. It's changing. December the 23rd, 2020, we headed to our largest selling newspaper right here on Kaieteur Radio. And this is what the Kaieteur newspaper, your favorite newspaper, is saying to you today, the top of the headlines. Ill prepare Guyana malls, new bid rungs for oil blocks. And this story here is warning. If you're going to get into any kind of sale of any oil blocks, so we have very little remaining oil blocks offshore Guyana there. If you're going to be selling anything, make sure that you have the proper regulations, updated regulation, modern legislations there in place so you could be able to deal with this. You can't go do anything and then you're not prepared. And this story here is warning, like so many other stories we would have had last several years, a couple of years rather, since this oil and gas sector would have taken off somewhat in Guyana. As we know, right now it's just completed a year since we started pumping oil, commercial quantities in Guyana, offshore Guyana. And there are exploration ongoing in other blocks in Guyana, and the explorers are very sure that there are gas there. Exxon is dumping everything right across the world to come to Guyana. And the main headline here: Guyana makes no use of UNDP report, United Nations Development Program, to avoid corruption, abuse in the oil sector. 5 years later, we still facing this problem. What's wrong with it? This after 4 years, 4 or 5 years, after 4 or 5 years there. Why is it that we facing the same problem? Well, these are all the messages that's coming from the newspaper here to ensure that we move quickly forward with this entire program of ensuring that all the protections are in place and that we have the right people and they're monitoring, they're evaluating, they're changing, because this is not an easy sector to deal with. It is so intense. It is so it takes a special set of people who are very committed to be able to handle it. And if you believe you would just handle it like any other sector, at a rude awakening come in, they're going to run rings around you. Former priest found murdered in his home, and this is former Anglican priest George Chokasang. And this is a shocking case. In a home, in a church compound at the St. Sidwell's Anglican Church here, along Vicentin Road, Georgetown, not too far from the Coffee Square. If you were headed south to the East Bank area there, is where the church is, and it's right next door to school. Daughter Renata, very well known in Guyana as an activist humanitarian who has been involved in so many other things. She didn't hear from him over the weekend. She spoke to him on Friday, made a call, did not get it. Then she went to the current priest of the Anglican who's in charge of this area here. And they decided to go to the home. They had keys probably. And when they went there, they found him in the upper flat of the building, in his bare underwear, and of course stab wounds and so on, murdered. So that's a very, I'm not sure. There's around the area a lot of cameras and so it's supposed to be there. So I expect this case to be solved, but it's very shocking, the kind of thing that the church premises, no longer safe haven, no longer a no place. It's not sacred anymore, and so this is, it goes to show the kind of society we have been evolving, we've been downgraded to. And I guess a lot of people who are not going to be agreeing as to what I'm saying there. But yes, it is something that we have to pay attention to. Soko digging into James Bond's finances as land giveaway probe continues. And you could recall that this attorney at law, a senior official within the People's National Congress reform, came under the scrutiny, would have been held in custody, arrested. Yes, a lawyer arrested a couple of weeks back. And he's been probed by Soku, and they're looking into his finances. He would have allegedly received millions of dollars into his account for the sale of lands. Lands were that belonged to the state that was not supposed to be sold. They're looking into that transaction there, and this land is along the East Bank, right where the Harbor Bridge is going to land. And how did he get it, and how did these people get it? And when they got it, what were they supposed to do with it? There were some irregularities that was found, unusual transactions, if you will. So that is a case that Soko is looking into. Opposition to abstain from Parliament today. Well, this is not so true. They have participated in Parliament today, and we will bring you more details on this. There were some presentations of some reports there today in Parliament, and And I know that the CHNPA would have presented their annual reports and so I think for 2018. I listened to a very short piece of it, but it is ongoing as of when the last time that I listened. Financial Intelligence Unit there. This is a monitoring body, a watchdog body that is state controlled. Well, not state controlled. It's there as a regulator to make sure that we don't have any suspicious transactions in financial and other institutions which would come on it. And they're saying that there's a reduction in the amount of the suspicious transaction reported because of COVID-19 one. And it's at 29 new reporting agencies. These are companies and so on who would be participating in this thing here. You see, when you're a bank or your financial institution like an insurance or a money transfer, Cambio, you have to report. If anything that you do big transactions, they have to report that is being done. So it is a requirement under the laws, and they're saying that there's been a drop of it. Could we a drop in the numbers? Could we read anything to it? Well, it's a COVID year, so but it's good to have this thing reported. Let's know. The big story for the day, which I thought in terms of the current things, was the fact that government would have been able to get Chinese contractor China Harbor Engineering Company to agree to fix the airport at not cost Guyana, but to put on some other stuff. Now we talk about $150 million here, and China Harbor has agreed to put on a couple of things. They have to put in some. They have to do some building, some extension to the current departure building, and so. And there are going to be some places for booths and so on that you could be able to do duty free and so on. They are going to have to put some facade and some other things, some other extensions and so on. But for $9 million US, they have to till the end of next year to finish everything so Guyana could get it. And Guyana has been threatening this company here. It's almost a decade. It's going to be a decade next year that they've been wrong with this project here, been pushing it back and forth, kicking it like a football. Have we gotten enough? Is this justification? Is this justice for the Guyana people? We're hearing there's another side of the story. There's a $15 million US bond, which China Harbor and the Guyana government holds. If they mess up, we could cash in on that and do what we have to do. Well, we'd have to find out because there's going to expire very, very shortly. And I understand that the government could be able to look at this, but I'm not sure whether the Chinese contractor know. But never again Guyana should be pushing itself to have these kind of contractors around the place, and we should not have this kind of monitoring when we hire companies here in Guyana as the supervisors to supervise on behalf of us. They have to do their job. You cannot say that's the government of the day. You've been hired, you've been paid money. And if you're not doing your job, and so there was a company, Triple M and Semco, I'm going to call you guys out because 150 million Guyana dollars, and you did not do your job. The government of the day or the governments of the day did not do their job. 1 decade later, yes, it's going to be 1 decade within a couple of months. We still have not gotten our airport for $150 million. And now we have to track down on this. While this company, the same company here, gotten two other contracts with private enterprise, private companies. One of them happens to be Pegasus Hotel. No beef for them. The other one happens to be Movie Town. Movie Town has been completed. They're in operations. Pegasus Hotel is nearing completion. They have probably a few months more to go. They're building a world-class business center there with rooms to deal with the business world, the business sector there, the oil and gas especially, targeting. Beautiful building there. But check China Harbor there. Would have been able to finish, this Chinese company here, would have been able to finish or near completion with the Pegasus, finish the Movie Town which had the contract, but can't finish our airport. Sad indictment on our people in Guyana here. Make no bones about that. Make no apologies. Our politicians have failed us and they should be ashamed of themselves. This is not how people in Guyana, this is not how me in Guyana, this is not how we want our business to be run. And in any other contracts, any other projects when it comes to handling our business going forward, you got to be starting to, as a people of Guyana, start to insist that you get a better deal, that you have quality, you have value for your dollars, that whatever it is that we're doing, and it's not only for the oil and gas is going to be the one that's going to make you very rich. Filthy rich, according to Glenn Lyle. Filthy, filthy rich. That is if the politicians and everybody else do what they're supposed to do. You could sit on your hands, or you could get up and do something about it. What that getting up and do something about it, I don't know. But staying silent is not an option anymore. Very quickly, before we head and prepare for the Guyana Power and Light, the officials who are going to be here in a very short while, we're going to head right into the Kaieteur newspaper here. And let me see. The mayor is clashing with Nigel Damlal. This is mayor of Georgetown, Ubraj Narayan. And he's clashing with the minister of local government, Nigel Damlal. He's saying the minister wants him to appoint or reappointing of the acting Tong Klong. She would have been sent off. And he said, no, I'm not going to do it. You don't have the powers to do it. So, same old story. It looks like a different year, but same old story. It's clashing. Nobody understand that what is good for the city. While Nero fiddles, I think it is, while Caesar fiddles or Nero fiddles, Rome burns. So while they're fighting, and I have no beef with Yubraj Ryan, and I have no beef with the Minister of Local Government, Nigel Darmlal. But while all this is happening, the city stings, and the city is flooded. Many, many parts here. So let's get our act together. Let me see what else is happening. The GPL submarine cable has been repaired, and you could recall this was broken across the river. It would have thrown the stable supply of electricity, because remember, we take a lot of electricity from across the river from the Vreeden Hoop branch here. It was coming via an underground cable or a submarine cable across the Demerara River. That would have been broken, and the government says they are now going after the ship holders. Should have never have been, because the ship is not supposed to be there. So they're going after them to recover costs. It's about $100 million that is spent. That is to fly in some Chinese contractors there. And the government says it would have been working with the Chinese embassy in Guyana to bring these persons on an emergency basis to have this thing recovered, to repaired. And they did repair it, and it's up on. They're supposed to be doing some tests, but what we do know is that for the Christmas we have a little more stable electricity. That's what Prime Minister Brigadier retired Mark Phillips would have told media. New NIS board challenge to improve services, make entity viable on the long term, and this is interesting for the people who are interested. Improve processing of claims and payments of benefits. You've been wanting to hear about this, and you would have been wanting to hear about the improvements to NIS. Well, the new board has been challenged to get their act together. And chairing the new board is not other than a man by the name of Ramesh Prasad, and he is the chief executive officer of IPED. He's also board member of Gaisuko, comes with tons of experience there. So let's see, can they turn the tide around? NIS has to do a little better than that. It's a nightmare with the people that are going there, and I think they understand that. But what are they doing about it? They need to do that. Hot Skull get to 43.5 years for all boys song footballers murder. This is a very shocking case. They shot this guy several times after robbing him. He went to drop his girlfriend home. The girl would have talked, they would have given impact statements. These are the families. And whenever you talk about killing somebody, when you talk about killing somebody, there are impacts. The children are impact. The wife is impact. The mother's impact. You lost somebody there. So let's don't think it. Let's don't beat around the bush. Venezuela rejects World Court decision on border. Well, it's in the middle page. It doesn't make our front page. What Venezuela says or not says, while it's important, at the end of the day, we are doing what we're supposed to do. So, Mr. Maduro, you get your act together. It belongs to us not to blade of grass. And that's what we want to say to you. And right about now, it's an ad break. We are headed into a break very shortly. And what I can tell you, in a very short while, we are going to be coming back, and we're going to be taking some calls until GPL joins us. 622-222 is where you send your messages to. And you could also call us on 226-7453. We're going to tell you when. But do not touch those dials. We will be back with you in a very short while, right here on the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio with your host, Leonard Gildarie.
The Guyana Lottery Company is making every effort to protect our valued players and staff from the spread of the coronavirus. We are doing our part with placing signage at our agents countrywide, ensuring regular sanitization of terminals, and recommending that operators use masks at all times. We now require that all players also wear masks, wash their hands for 20 seconds, then dry with paper towels provided before purchasing tickets at our offices. Please observe and stand on the floor markers as you wait your turn. Then speak clearly to the cashier, check and collect your tickets, and depart. To observe a social distancing, only 10 persons at a time will be allowed to enter our offices. Let's all be safe. And remember, a ticket a day could make you rich today.
Public advisory. GPL wishes to advise all customers and the general public that due to the ongoing heavy rainfalls and strong winds, our company anticipates that some communities will experience localized faults. Consequently, customers are advised that our emergency team is on standby to act swiftly to restore power to affected areas. Further, customers who may experience a localized fault are asked to call our 24/7 call center on 226-2600 to report a localized fault. To this end, GPL will continue to work assiduously to provide reliable supply of electricity to all stakeholders.
This is a GPL public advisory, temporary business hours during the holiday season. The Guyana Power and Light Inc. wishes to advise our valued customers of our temporary business hours at our commercial offices and customer service centers countrywide. The following offices will be opened and closed as follows for the period December 24th to December 27th, 2020. All commercial offices, customer service centers will be open for business on Thursday, December 24th, 2020 from 8 hours to 13 hours and closed for business on Friday, December 25th, 2020, Saturday, December 26th, 2020 and Sunday, December 27th, 2020. Business resumes on Monday, December 28th, 2020. All prepaid customers are encouraged to purchase an adequate amount of electricity tokens in order to ensure a consistent supply of electricity between the period Thursday, December 24th, 2020 and Sunday, December 27th, 2020, when GPL and most of its authorized agents will be closed for business. Prepaid juice cards are available in denominations of $500, $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000. These cards can be purchased from GPL commercial offices and authorized agents countrywide. A list of available agents is accessible at http://gpl-inc.com/bill/payment-options/juice-cards-tokens/. Additionally, postpaid customers are encouraged to utilize our wide network of authorized payment agents. A list of available agents is accessible at http://gpl-inc.com/bill/payment-options/. We thank you for your business and season's greetings. A message from the Guyana Power and Light Inc.
Thank you very much and welcome back right here on the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio. And let me take this opportunity before we continue what we're doing there and continue with our business of the day with our people. I must tell you that we want to recognize as the people of the year. I'm gonna probably start it here. There's a couple of people. We're gonna start, bringing it down because at the end of the year we must say that with this Kaieteur Radio here, this Wake Up Guyana show here is going to be naming some people of the year, and we will be doing that. But as of now, we want to recognize for the Christmas season here the work of our frontline workers within the Ministry of Health there at the hospitals and so on. And we're not talking only about the doctors and the nurses, but we're talking about the ambulance drivers, the cleaners, and everybody, the receptionists and everybody. You guys are doing what you're supposed to be doing, all the lab techs and everybody. And at the various hospitals, whether it's private or public hospital, you're the heroes of this year. We know that you would have been on the call, you would have been sacrificing many days in the beginning and inception. You would have been away from home, sleeping, maybe grabbing a few hours sleep. back to work. It's something unusual, but you adapted and we did what we were supposed to be doing. So it's not only the frontline workers in the health sector. We want to say a good day to all policemen and women out there. Very tough year. You have not been given the kudos, and there are many decent ones, but many days we would have been driving around the place. And yes, you could very rightly say that it is their job, but they have been doing a decent job under the circumstances, and we must recognize them. And in the various regions, and so security guards, I want to say that we recognize you too. You're working for so very little under very poor conditions, under very trying circumstances, single parents. We want to say that to you. And of course, we can't forget our teachers. Many of them, it would have been a tough year. And of course, to the parents, the women especially is out there. You would have had a very tough year on the very, very tough times that we never experienced before in this country. A pandemic in modern times that we would have been able to see through this year. It's not going to be easy as we move forward, but we have been through it, and I think I see light at the end of the tunnel. We will turn the corner. I'm very confident, and you will be able to gather yourself, pick yourself up as we move forward in this beautiful country of ours. So there you have it at the top of our head. There, we will have seen a couple of people that we want to name, and we name you. And at the end of the year, we are going to come out and probably name the people of the year. Maybe we could probably name the personality of the year. We could do that because through this year, there has been some good news, there's been some bad news, but there have been some individuals who stood out head and shoulder above the rest. So we have to recognize them as we go forward. That is going to be done. Maybe next week we could probably have a look at that. Right about now, there's a call online. Let's see very quickly. Could we missed that. But as of now, let me tell you that there's a story. A man was living under a bridge. And this happened on the west coast of the west bank of Demerara at the Vredenhoop area there. One day driving early this week, one vehicle reportedly missed it because the road crumbled right there. It's around the bridge area. When the technical officials and so on, road repair officials, decide to check what caused this road to thing, they found a man living under the bridge. And he apparently was scooping out some of the areas around the bridge, maybe to make himself very comfortable. And that caused a depression there. It's a very strange story there. We have to take a very quick break now. We will be back with you in a very short while. Just stand by as we get ready to get into the things. Take some calls and read some of those comments right here on Kaieteur Radio. So, welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show here as we prepare to host a couple of officials from the Guyana Power and Light Inc., the state-owned Guyana Power and Light Inc., right in the studio because, they've been talking to us about what is happening, how could you do certain things with GPL and some of the issues that you have with them. We are going to be telling you there's a couple of stories that I want to share very quickly with you. Our death toll is mounted to 160 from COVID-19 since March of this year. It's a 70 something plus old man from West Berbice area. And as I always said, these numbers are not good. We have about over 600 persons right now. And let me see the number of recovered cases, number of deaths, number of persons in home isolation. Over 600 persons are in home isolation at the moment right across this beautiful land of ours. Make sure that you protect yourself because the numbers are going up. If you're a little on sinister side of things, you are going to be affected, and so these are not things that you really look forward to. But in the meantime, let me tell you, a one laptop per family initiative. The president in Kaieteur, Region 8, yesterday announced that it is going to be reintroduced next year. It was a pet project of the People's Progressive Party sometime back, and when they would have come out, it just kind of went somewhere else. But they said they're going to reintroduce it back starting next year, and this would have been told by the president of Guyana, Irfan Ali, to residents of Kaieteur, Region 8. There's one other story that I think I should tell you about. They're working very hard on something called arbitration, the arbitration laws in Guyana. And we could have a talk on this, but very quickly, in essence, what it is that as this country here, if you got to go to court, as we head into the oil and gas sector in the very thick of things, they are going to be having court cases because there are always going to be disputes. The arbitration laws basically allow for parties to meet in a legal setting outside of the court system, and whatever decisions are taken there is recognized by the court as legal, and they could trash it out. They come to a compromise and agreement, and so they move into that direction, and you could almost have everything from criminal cases, I presume. Any case that is civil or so definitely could head towards arbitration, and you have a kind of a judge sitting there, and they are going to be listening to the matters. So this is a good direction. It saves time, it saves money, it saves personnel, and of course, as we go forward in this country, we have to look at ways, innovative ways, in which we could definitely save time. We don't want to waste time. Nobody wants to be in the court system locked up for more than a decade or two because of a simple matter. There's so many cases and so on. It could be handled elsewhere, and we could come to a compromise. Instead of you wanting 20 million, let's settle for $12 million. Those are the kind of things. So right about now, we have within us at the studio here. I'm not sure. She seemed to have lost her date today, but we are going to be talking to her in a very short while. Two persons here, I'm not sure. We're going to ask her to introduce herself. She's all the way from the Guyana Power and Light Inc. Today. And I don't know what her name is. I know, but I want her to tell it to me, and I want her to tell it to me in her own voice. So today, welcome, Ms. GPL lady, and you're going to tell us what is it that you do, because today you're in the hot seat.
Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. Good afternoon, the listening public of Guyana. Let me first start by saying season's greetings. We are here close to Christmas, so I know everybody's busy. We're Guyanese and we're still enjoying Christmas as it is, even during the pandemic. Now, my name is Sylvina Charles, and I am the manager, Customer Service Center at GPL Main Street.
Thank you very much. And what is GPL doing for the Christmas season? Have they locked down? Have they stopped working, or they continue to work?
No, we continue to serve the public. We were only closed at Main Street, I think, for 1 week. Maybe you would have saw that ad. But our other commercial offices have been opened. What we're doing differently, however, in observance of our COVID-19 pandemic and rules and regulations, we have started online platform, and we are boosting our online platform. For example, we started our online application, and that is doing extremely well. On average, customers used to come in, we usually get like 400 applications per month when persons walk in. I was surprised online we got over 700.
Wow.
So persons are using the online application system. We are doing queries via the telephone, and we have increased the resources for that too. Human resource and also technological wise, we have introduced our online chat feature and our WhatsApp query. Right? So if you sign into www.gpl.com, you would see the chat feature coming up right away. And I am proud to state that sometimes I do check the chat feature and you would get a response. I've been on some online chat and it just phased out because of non-response. But with GPL, every time I try, I get a response within a reasonable time, like within a 5-minute period. And we also have our WhatsApp query. So if you don't have the online chat or you can't get onto the website and it's easy for you to store a WhatsApp number, it's 608-9090. Let me repeat that again, 608-9090, 608-9090. So with that, you can also query your bill. You can call and query your bill via 226-2600, right? You can visit our online chat and query your bill. Now, we are aware there are a few persons who might not be technologically inclined. You might have some pensioners and so on who are not, able, and they don't have anyone around who can assist them. Now, even if you can't get in and you come in, we may try to assist you to see how best we can facilitate that person there, right? We can do so by appointment basis. But we try to facilitate customers when they come in. At the end of the day, we appreciate the fact that and recognize the fact that customers pay our salary when the month comes, right? So we're very thankful and grateful for our customers. I know they might be upset over certain services like the power outages and so on, but we're there to assist you the best we can. And I know our team at GPL, we work very hard, very, very hard to assist, right? I must commend, I know around this time with the weather, the rainy weather, you might have had some trips and so on, some power outages, but I know our T&D guys, they go out whether it's Christmas Day and they're having Christmas lunch and it's pouring rain and we call them, they go. Right? Because at the end of the day, we use our customers and they always leave. You never have a customer without power. So they have that priority. So some of them have been in the system with 15, 20 years. So you could imagine if you have that as a mindset, right? How priority in terms of your lifestyle that will be, right? Trying to assist the customers. Yes, we may take long because we might prioritize if there is a burst main across the road and you understand it's life-threatening. We might attend to those first before we may come to you. Maybe you have a prepaid issue, right? So we're sorry for those that we take a little long to address your concern, but we usually do it within 24 hours. We even set our targets within 16. I know some customers, I have a friend, he texted me and about 50 minutes back he said they're not here. I understand, but even me, to move from Providence to here, I took more than 15 minutes with the traffic. So you have to understand the team might have had 2 or 3 other complaints on the way to you. So they will get to you. We're asking that you be patient around this time. It's not that we don't have you as a priority. We do, right? But with logistics, with traffic and everything, it's going to take some time.
Well, I thank you very much. And if you're now joining us on the Wake Up Guyana show here, you are going to be seeing and talking to Sylvina Charles. I hope I'm pronouncing it
yes,
correctly.
Correct.
And she's none other than the manager of the customer service of the state-owned Guyana Power and Light. And let me stop here because I want to say a couple of things very clearly. We have invited almost all the regulatory bodies in Guyana and the state-owned companies and so on to come here. It is the people's voice. It is their channel. And we want to ensure that they have a chance to do it. And GPL, fortunately for them, and they would have been one of the companies that people really paying close attention to, like GT&T, because they provide very critical services. We can do very little without the electricity. And they have managed to take up this. So it isn't that we're doing PR for them. What we're doing is facilitating via the radio station here, the state-owned company, so they could be able to answer your queries. You're going to have a frontal interaction with this company here, right here on Kaieteur Radio. And it is a good thing, like I've always said, when we see our people who are especially in the customer services area, they are, interaction with the people of Guyana, especially one of the ilk of GPL here. So I want to say thank you very much to GPL there, Ms. Charles, for accepting our invitation, because I've been given a mandate which is very clearly ensure that the people have their voice, and it's a good thing that the company has opened itself so the people could interact with them. Now, one of the things that you have said is that there have been an increase in the number of online transactions and so on. What about in terms of getting back? Have you been able to test? You said that you would have been looking at it, but have you been able to gauge from what the public would have been saying based on the system that you have in place?
Yes. At first, we actually did a sample check, I
Right.
must say. Right? We did a sample check for a period, and we also got feedback on the online system. At first, we were having, as for a new system, you might have had some hiccups. But what we did in place, because when we having a lot of transaction coming in at one time, what happens is that not all the applications we will receive. So what we do, I told the call center, hey, look what, if a customer calls in and say that they would have applied and they didn't hear back from us within a day or 2 days, right? What they're going to do is that they're going to collect that customer number, and we will give that customer a call and set an appointment for them to come in.
No problem. I think right about now there's a call online, and we're going to see what the caller says. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Go right ahead.
Hi, good day, good day.
Yes, good day, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Season's
to
greetings,
one
same
and
to you.
all.
To you too, ma'am.
Okay. And I have a complaint
Yes.
to the madam there.
Yes.
Our television this morning,
Your television this morning, yes.
yeah, we had this low voltage and high voltage. And
Uh-huh.
the television is a 50-inch television. It just gave pouch and it went off. And we call to find out what would happen to that, what complaint I can make, what kind of satisfaction I will get.
All right, she's right here, and she's the manager for the customer service. Before you go on, let me tell you, all my equipment at home, they have to be backed up, they're stabilized and everything, because I understand how GPL works. But she's going to ask you the questions and maybe give you very quickly what are some of the things that GPL look for. I think everybody would have a complaint sometime or the other. So I'd hand you over to Ms. Charles, and Ms. Charles, you understand the question there? Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon again. Could you
Good
give me your
afternoon.
name again, please?
My name?
Uh-huh.
Would you give my name on the air?
Well, okay,
If
you could
you're- if
take
you're-
take her number, and then maybe we could probably give her a
Yes.
call back.
All right. I wanted to address you by your name, not just ma'am. That's why.
Okay.
All right. I must say thank you for calling in, and I am sorry over what would have occurred. Before I go into the lengthy thing that we're trying to better our system, let me first address your concern. And I'm happy you bring it up because that's one of the reasons that I'm here today. Right? When you called in, you said you would have had a voltage fluctuation or whatever the case may be,
Yeah,
and
the
your
power
television,
just go on,
yes,
come off,
and your
stay.
television damage. When you
Yes.
called in, did you get a reference number?
I keep calling all morning, and I ain't getting through, madam.
Could you
All
give
they
me your
telling
number?
me, I call in 226-2600, and all that I'm getting from them, press this number, press that number, and
I
when you
know.
press, they're just telling you everybody busy, everybody busy.
Oh, okay. That's because all of our personnel would have been engaged at the time. But do you mind sharing your number so I can have them call you?
Yes, my number is 216-0220.
216
Yeah,
0220. All right.
This is in the Diamond area.
yes, this is in Diamond Second Bridge.
All right. In another 2 hours, I would have someone call you and they
Yeah.
will give you a reference number. Now,
All right.
let me explain the procedure to you. right?
Yeah.
What you must get is a claim form. We compensate for damages to appliances once we are found to be negligent,
Yeah.
right? I'm on the claims committee, so what
Yeah.
you do, you uplift your claims form, and the claim form set out the checklist and the conditions for the claim. Now you're talking about your television that might have been damaged. What needs to be submitted, right, along with filling out the claim form, and you have within 1 month, right,
Yeah,
from
where
the
would I
time of
get
the
that claim
incident.
form from?
You would have it from any one of our commercial offices.
Okay.
Right? Which one is close to you? You're in Diamond, so you can go to our Grove office.
Yeah.
You can visit Miss Zabida Forsyth. She's a
Okay.
team leader at Grove office.
Okay.
Right? Now, with the claim form, there's a checklist and the conditions of the claim. Let me first state that you have to submit that claim within 1 month of the incident. Right? Additionally, you have to submit 3 quotations for the item that is damaged. If it's damaged beyond repair, you need to visit a technician, and the technician needs to state whether it can be repaired or it's damaged beyond repair. If it can be repaired, right, you can go ahead and repair it, and you would submit your receipt to us with the claims form. If it's damaged beyond repair, the technician must give you a certificate to state that it's damaged beyond repair, right, and the nature of the damage. Because we have some technical people on the committee, so they would want to verify that indeed GPL is negligent. And once GPL is found to be negligent, we will compensate. It is a normal procedure, right? So you got that. If it's damaged beyond repair, you get a technician certificate and 3 quotations.
Okay.
Right? What we do next, we come, we investigate, we verify the items that have been damaged, well, your television in your case, and then we take it to the claims committee meeting, and then we go for executive management approval.
Okay.
Right?
Do you give back cash or is it a credit to the
Check, cash.
They give you cash, okay.
Check, well, in the check
check.
form
Right,
for you
right,
to...
One more thing, Mr.
Sure.
Gildarie.
Yes.
We're still waiting on our 25.
Well, I have not been told that they're in that area yet. I understand there's some up in the Upper East Bank area working the way down. Of course, they're keeping very quiet about it because they're not talking,
You're very quiet. You're not hearing nothing.
Yes, they haven't been advertising it, so we don't know. I know definitely they're not in Diamond. I would have heard about it. All right, if I don't talk back to you,
Leonard said we sweetie money, so Christmas can come and we can get we sweetie money.
Mr. Glenn, that's a sweetie money. All right, thank you. If I don't talk back to you, I hope that you have a very enjoyable Christmas and a prosperous New Year, okay?
Okay, you two, all the best.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you very much. So, in the meantime, while we say goodbye to that good lady from Diamond, the Golden Grove area there, I want to ask you, Ms. Silvina, do we have a lot of claims coming into GPL for damaged equipment, etc., etc.?
On a monthly basis, maybe we average about 15 or so, depends, right? As our infrastructure get better, we would see less claims coming in. And as you know, we would have had power upgrade utility program throughout the country. And that is still ongoing because we would have finished, I think, Lot A and Lot B, and we're now proceeding to Lot C, which is a next set of areas. Right? So we're looking at upgrading our systems, and we're also looking at upgrading our generation capacity. Right? As you're aware, we would have had new generators, gensets coming in, right? So some will be operable next year, and we have the MacOrp one that came in recently. So we're looking at bettering our system and improving our reliability.
Thank you very much. And I think we head straight into a very quick break right now. And when we're back, more calls. We have GPL in the house. We have just about more half an hour with her. I know that she's a very busy woman. Miss Silvina Charles, Manager Customer Relations, Customer Services, rather, at the Guyana Power and Light Inc. Do not touch those dials. We will be back right here on Kaieteur Radio and the Wake Up Guyana show in a very short while.
The Guyana Lottery Company is making every effort to protect our valued players and staff from the spread of the coronavirus. We are doing our part with placing signage at our agents countrywide, ensuring regular sanitization of terminals, and recommending that operators use masks at all times. We now require that all players also wear masks, wash their hands for 20 seconds, then dry with paper towels provided before purchasing tickets at our offices. Please observe and stand on the floor markers as you wait your turn. Then speak clearly to the cashier, check and collect your tickets, and depart. To observe a social distancing, only 10 persons at a time will be allowed to enter our offices. Let's all be safe. And remember, a ticket a day could make you rich today.
This is a GPL public advisory. Temporary business hours during the holiday season. The Guyana Power and Light Inc. wishes to advise our valued customers of our temporary business hours at our commercial offices and customer service centers countrywide. Our commercial offices and customer service centers will be opened and closed as follows for the period Thursday, December 31st, 2020 to Sunday, December 3rd, 2021. All commercial offices and customer service centers will be opened for business on Thursday, December 31st, 2020 from 8 hours to 13 hours and closed for business on Friday, January 1st, 2021, Saturday, January 2nd, 2021, Sunday, January 3rd, 2021. Business resumes on Monday, January 4th, 2021. All prepaid customers are encouraged to purchase an adequate amount of electricity tokens in order to ensure a consistent supply of electricity between the period Thursday, December 31st, 2020 and Sunday, January 3rd, 2021, when GPL and most of its authorized agents will be closed for business. Prepaid juice cards are available in denominations of $500, $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000. These cards can be purchased from GPL commercial offices and authorized agents countrywide. A list of available agents is accessible at http://gplinc.com/bill/payment-options/juice-cards-tokens/. Additionally, postpaid customers are encouraged to utilize our wide network of authorized payment agents. A list of available agents is accessible at http://gplinc.com/bill/payment-options/. We thank you for your business and season's greetings.
Public advisory. GPL wishes to advise all customers and the general public that due to the ongoing heavy rainfalls and strong winds, our company anticipates that some communities will experience localized faults. Consequently, customers are advised that our emergency team is on standby to act swiftly to restore power to affected areas. Further, customers who may experience a localized fault are asked to call our 24/7 call center on 226-2600 to report a localized fault. To this end, GPL will continue to work assiduously to provide reliable supply of electricity to all stakeholders.
Thank you very much and welcome right back here to the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio. We have with us right here in the studio today on Saffron Street, Miss Sylvina Charles, and she's none other than the manager of the Customer Relations Department at the Guyana Power and Light. And there's a question, before I do that, I want to say to you that we're talking here. Do you know that if you have an equipment that has probably, that you believe would have been the fault of GPL, it's been damaged, that you could make a claim, and so you could pick up those claim forms from GPL at any GPL commercial offices, and they were going to walk you through the steps as to how to get it filled out and what you need to do in order to make those claims. And they could probably, if you are successful, to get a check at the end of the day for what you believed would have been damage to your equipment by GPL. I could tell you that at my home, when I go to buy an equipment, I have to budget for surge protectors, for battery backups and the whole works, because that I'm really so scared of GPL and power, and it is rightfully so. You have, when you spend a lot of money, a whole bunch of money for something, you would want it to last long, and it's not only here, any part of the world that you are. Make sure that you protect yourself. It could be something within your house that it causes something to arc, and it feeds right back into your equipment. Things happen, right? And so There's a question for you, Ms. Childs, which is how long does a claim take to purchase to be processed?
All right. A claim sometimes take as much as maybe around 30 to 60 days to be processed.
Uh-huh.
One of the reasons is that we have the investigation to be completed. And what delays the claim too is sometimes we see with the customers. The customers might be hurry to submit the claim form, but they don't submit the other documentation that should accompany the claim form. So we find ourselves is that we're behind the customers in terms of we're calling them, we're writing to them, we're telling them what is outstanding, please do submit, right? And then we do an investigation. After the investigation, the committee meet, and we don't just meet on one. We might meet on, about 5 or more, right? So we meet monthly to make sure we have an adequate or a productive meeting then. And then we make judgment or recommend whether the customer should be compensated or not based on it, and then it goes to our executive team to be signed and to our finance department.
So 30 to 60 days there. I think we have a caller right on the line right now. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Hi, good afternoon, Leonard. I go out to the young lady with you there.
Thank you very much, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm a senior citizen.
Uh-huh.
I could recall the government said something about subsidy for senior citizens from GPL. Maybe she can elaborate a little on what form will it take and so on. I have a prepaid meter, by the way.
Thank you very much, dear. Over to you, Ms. Charles.
All right. Your name, please?
My name is Sesnarayan Singh.
Okay, Mr. Singh. I like to call people by their name. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Okay, Mr. Singh. What I must say is that with GPL, we don't have a subsidy per se, but we take pensioners into consideration. Meaning a pensioner living alone or someone who is living alone and you know that you don't have these big appliances and so on, you find that you pay a lower rate. Once you consume less than 75 kilowatt per month, the rate is $46. And in addition to that, we still have the 15% fuel rebate. So with that, you find that you will pay $39.10 per kilowatt.
When you take the rebate into consideration.
Yes.
Okay.
If you do the same thing for over 75 kilowatt, you pay $43.43 per kilowatt.
A little lower. Initially you said 46.
43.
Sorry, you said 30 something there. Now
$39.10.
Yeah, with the rebate.
With the rebate.
So over 75, you pay what? 43 something?
You pay 43.43.
That's the rebate is included in that?
Yes, the rebate is also included in that.
Now, I'm paying, I think it's over 50, 56 or there. I can't remember the exact figure, but thereabouts, I think. And after so many units, then I think, over a certain amount of units, then you pay that higher rate.
Yes,
like that,
correct.
There's one more question there.
Sure.
I see when I usually buy about $5,000 per month. That takes me through. I see a 300 or something there.
$51.
What is that for, really? I'm
All
not
right.
certain.
Therefore, you are a prepaid customer.
I am.
Good. Well, when you purchase, you remember we take into consideration the 75 kilowatt and below, right? So once you use the 75 kilowatt and below, you have this lower rate. Once you go over that 75 kilowatt, the 351 is the recovery, right? Would have been the $43.43 that you're paying for the 75 kilowatt, the first 75 kilowatt. So it's a recovery charge once you go over the 75 kilowatt.
75.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So some people with the prepaid system especially, they try to monitor so that they don't go below, especially if they don't have that much appliance and they're living alone and their pension and these kind of things.
Yeah.
They try to monitor so that they don't go over that amount.
Okay, I got you.
All right. So that's okay with you, sir?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your season and your Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah, same to you too.
Thank you very much, dear. So very quickly, we have some messages coming into our phones, and we have to, as normal on this program here, listen to what the people have to say. And this is what one listener is saying, not necessarily for GPL, but they're saying, good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. Could you say which ministry the Guyana Post Office comes under? Because they're so irresponsible to deal with someone who applied for birth certificate almost 2 months now, and they have not received it as yet. And they have people who's walking walking in, pass a little money, and receive the documents right away. Not everyone could afford to pay a bribe, Mr. Gildarie. Come on, man. They're serving the general public, need better service than the post office. The people there need documents for the important business, man. What are they getting paid for? To waste time? But two things here, and in the new year, very early in the new year, the people from the General Registrar's Office, the GRO, which is in charge of birth certificates and death certificates and so on, marriage certificates and so. I am going to be bringing them here. I'm going to be reaching out to them and be bringing them to the office here, to the studio here, and we're going to be having a chat. The second thing is, they are housed in the post office section there, but they have nothing to do. It's not being managed. It's not being managed by the post office. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, my apologies. Little technical issues here. But the Guyana the General Registrar's Office has nothing to do with the post office except it's housed in the same building. So I'd have to get them into the office here very quickly, and we're going to be having a chat with them because this has been something that's been going back and forth. Hi, everyone. Okay, somebody talk about the Georgetown Public Hospital need blood urgently. Please, if you're out there and you're in the vicinity and you can spare a pint of blood, please, the Georgetown Hospital, you could save a life. Please let us do what is the right thing, our civic duty. If you could give a pint of blood, it'd be very helpful. Good day. I want to know if GPL has prepaid because it didn't read my meter regularly and I still have to pay a bill. This is in Providence New Scheme. I need to know the process for a prepaid meter. Thank you, Leonard. Over to you, Ms. Charles.
All right. Currently, our prepaid stock is very, very low, right? What we're doing, a matter of fact, there would have been customers who would have been straight connected for faulty prepaid years ago and a couple months ago. So we're using those prepaid right now that we got in to replace those persons' meters. But we will get a new stock soon. And when we do, we will alert the public because we know there are some persons who are very much interested in the prepaid and they can also come in and apply.
Thank you very much for that. Very quickly here, as we go on, as we read a couple of these messages before we go back to the call. 1 second. Hi, Mr. Gildarie. Call all the numbers you give me for GWI, Georgetown, and Peters Hall. They promised to come. It's 3 weeks now. I haven't seen anybody yet. I'm a resident from Craig. You need to find the directory, the blue pages in the directory. Call the PR department of the Guyana Power Water Inc. And they are saying that they would be able to listen to some of the complaints here and deal with it. We've asked them to come on the program. They said they have a preference for the people to call the PR department. So you go ahead and call the PR department. There's a call online. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Missed that call there, unfortunately. Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. Can Ms. Charles please advise planning to do some repairs on my home, but GPL electric wire has to be removed to get the work done? Please advise how to go about doing this.
All right. Once a service is in your name, all you need is your ID card and there is a service fee. You come in and you apply either for a meter shift or rearrangement of service line, we call it. So once the service is in your name, you have all rights to come in and authorize that the service be removed. If you're a tenant or if it's a family's house and it's not in your name, then that person can give you an authorization with their ID card, and you also come in with your ID card, and you pay a small service fee, $3,648, and you apply for the meter shift or rearrangement of service line.
I thank you very much for that, Ms. Charles. If you're now joining us on the Wake Up Guyana show here, we have the manager of the customer service of the Guyana Power and Light, Sylvina Charles. In our studio here at Saffron Street. There's a call online. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Leonard.
Yes, it is. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon to you and the madam in the studio.
Yes.
GPL.
Yes.
I'm calling concern my mother. She lives in Bobby.
Uh-huh.
And she always complains to me that when the girl passed to read the meter, she always pass she house. And the bill is still coming estimated, and right now she owes $25,000. But we calling her today. I make a duty and go up there, and I went to GPL, and then told me that let me get the picture of the meter, take out the picture with the phone, and carry it into them. I do all of that, and then I tell, okay, they're gonna call us. Well, my son get on back to them, and then said that let me pay $3,700 for now until they rectify the bill. So what I'm just talking about here, that the person who just talking about the prepaid meter, I think that should very good also if my mother could have get it, because remember, she's old, she's 75 years old, and I don't want she to go nowhere to, pay bills and everything. And especially this COVID.
All right.
She's not a healthy person.
No problem. So there's a question here. I leave it over to Ms. Charles. Any other question, I would have her answer you.
What you can do for me, you said they have not called you back as yet.
No, we end up on call.
All right. What is, could you give me your number?
My number is 643-6408, but I live in Elmore, but my mother live in Bath Settlement, West Coast.
That's fine. 643
6408.
6408.
Yes.
All right. I'll have the customer service officer responsible for Burbies call you, Miss Bibi Khan, call you and give you an update on that. Now, pertaining to the prepaid meter, as I said, our stock is very low at the moment. And what we should do in the first place, we need to read your mother's meter. Then it would not be in that situation. I must say, we read approximately 88 to 90% of our meters every month, right? So although we might have some estimates, the estimates are few. We are aiming for 100, but we read about 88 to 90%. So I have to find the reason why they are passing your mother's house and have that issue rectified. So that would not occur. As soon as we have prepaid, I would have Miss Khan, same Bibi Khan, from our Burbies office make contact with you so you can have someone come into the office.
I thank you very much for that. And let me be honest with you that when I went up there, I ended up and get the same person. She was passing the day and she come in and read the meter, right? So because I said it was COVID and so on, and I'm going to come for read the meter and so on. So I get you for reading meter. So that meter reading now, I'm waiting from them now to rectify. But instead for now, let me pay $700 because she normally doesn't run not much. She's more like $1,200, $1,500 a month.
Okay. Well, what they will do, they will contact you by tomorrow and they will let you know what is outstanding. It would not go past tomorrow. In addition, yes, indeed, we were not in the fields like how we were early in the COVID pandemic, because we had to ensure that our staff have all safety and everything necessary so that they can go out and read meters and do investigations. So we're back in the fields now and we are reading meters and so on, right? So I will make contact with Ms. Khan and she would be able to give you your corrected balance latest tomorrow, and we will update you. As soon as we have a prepaid meter, you would be one on the list given the condition of your mom. But please take into consideration when you have a prepaid meter and you're out of power, if it's your mom living alone, then she have to find, if you don't have juice cards, then she would have to find somewhere to go and purchase the power, right?
Yeah, that is a good point you're making.
Right,
she might end up and stuff a little bit there.
Yeah, so I ask persons, yes, we do have options, but you have to weigh your options and your benefits and so on, advantages and disadvantages of both, and see which one works out for you better.
Thank you very much, dear, and have a pleasant Christmas and a prosperous New Year's, dear, sir.
This is witness to you, Mr. Leonard, also with the Kaieteur News, and Mr. Glenn with all the good words. I waited tonight was 7:20.
Yes, thank you very much for that, and have a pleasant rest of the day, too. And I must remind you that this evening at 7:20 sharp, according to what I've been instructed, is that Vice President Bar Jagdew is going to be appearing on the Guyana's Oil and News show hosted by Kiana Wilberg, and also on that show will be publisher of Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal. So it's going to be pretty hot, a lot of questions back and forth. We were expecting this to take place since last week. I think Dr. Jagdew said that he has some time now and that he is going to be appearing. So I must tell you that. Sir, good day, your boss and your listeners. It's a known fact that a lost opportunity can never be regained. The Glenn Lal Show has given us all an opportunity to learn about our oil blocks, how our oil blocks were stolen from us, and how to decide who's been lying to us all the time. Although it's Christmas, licks must be shared to those politicians who give away our oil blocks, so we will always remain in poverty. Sir, the time is now. I've made my decision to stand against the oil blocks giveaway, and I hope all right-thinking Guyanese who stand with Mr. Leonard will follow the one who knows. He who knows and knows he is a wise man. Seek him. He who knows not and knows not that he knows not, he is like those morons that Mr. Leonard is talking about. I really can't wait for tonight's 7:20 show. Thank you very much, dear sir. Do we have a caller in line? Good afternoon, caller. You on the air? Go right ahead. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Gildarie?
Yes, it is. You are on the air right now. We have in the studio here Ms. Sylvina Charles, the Manager of Customer Relations of GPL.
Okay, thank you. I have a few words to say. I used to live in an upper flat, right? And I moved and I come downstairs in the bottom flat. And I had an accident over 2 years now. I can't walk. So all my appliances, up there, like where I install the fuse box and lights and whatever, and the meter and whatever, right? Now I come downstairs now. I tell landlord if I could get a transfer for everything will come downstairs. He's not telling me nothing. So
Well,
I want, and here is the meter. I used to burn about $400 or $500 a month. Now you run up the meter over 17 or 18,000 and the meter cut off. And I get downstairs, I can't get a little power or a little light. I can't get me a thing them for bring downstairs. So I get the current and do operation. And they got one sort of thing is up in your foot, like we call it antenna on your foot. So okay, I go there and I sleep in the sheer darkness.
all right. So you want to know? I think two things before I hand you over to Ms. Charles very quickly, because I think she would have to go in a very short while. But I could tell you two things. There was a dispute between you and the landlord there. That's one. I'm not sure what GPL could do with that, but there are some other things too. I'm sure she would have heard some of the questions. I'm going to pass it over to her.
Yeah, but I can get my meter to come downstairs.
All right. Let me explain a couple of things. First, you're more interested in a meter coming down.
Yeah.
The meter is the property of Guyana Power and Light. You don't pay for the meter. If you notice, you make a payment at the time when you apply for a meter. It's a security deposit. That deposit is used in case you fail to pay your bill. We can use that deposit against your arrears. Now, that deposit is returned to the customer with interest upon termination of your service with Guyana Power and Light at that location, right?
Yeah,
so,
what's the question? You want to ask a question, sir? Yeah, you're asking a question, sir?
Well, I had my own meter.
All right. If the meter is in...
I just move and come downstairs because after I get an accident with my foot. And I can't walk up this stairs, up the step.
So who lives upstairs?
The landlord and...
That's the landlord?
Yeah, he said he will upstairs for his son.
And he has that meter there now?
Yeah, he checked the meter.
All right.
He paid the meter bill over 17 or 18,000 now. It can't pay.
All right. What we're gonna do?
What
we're gonna do? We're gonna take your number and she's gonna call you back. They're gonna call you. GPL is gonna call you.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you give us a number, please?
682.
682.
We missed you there. 682
5903.
5903.
Yeah.
GPL is going to call you back, okay?
All right.
Okay.
But before you go, she wants to say something.
Before you go, two things. If the meter is in your name, meaning you applied for the meter, the landlord would need to apply and have the meter in his name because he shouldn't be using the power in your name. Additionally, for you to have a $400 or $500 bill a month, that is indeed a red flag, because our fixed rate charge is already $351 per month.
Yeah, but
so
you know, I used to do what now work. I never used it at home.
no, let me explain. Yes, it's $351 a month. So therefore, it is saying you have the lowest watt energy saver bulb at your home that you burn in on a monthly basis and nothing else. So if your bill is $400 or $500 a month, we would need to come and check that meter, right? Just saying. But we will call you back in terms of the other items, and I will have someone query it with you.
I don't have a fridge. I don't have no.
Okay, no problem. So somebody's going to call you, right?
Okay.
Thank you very much, and enjoy your Christmas and a Happy New Year to you, sir.
Same to you.
Thank you. And that's indeed a very, very sad case. I don't understand. Something there is not gelling, because I can't understand a landlord metered us and a man named using it. So I think GPL would have to do their work right there and then. And it's very sad. If it is indeed the case that somebody has been taken advantage of, that's not something that we look at very, with very pleasant eyes. Leonard, happy holidays, and this coming all the way from Derek overseas, and this beautiful country of Guyana is descending into chaos because of a few subversive elements, but Allah will see us through this madness. Killing any person or person, especially a priest, is forbidden under any religion. What next? These miscreants and villains intend to kill the priests. The people's spirit in Guyana refuse to bow down to those lowlives and skullduggeries. Guyana, love your brothers thyself. Please do not let controversial figures of government blind you with evil thoughts. Just remember, Allah is watching. There's no place like Guyana. Travel around the world and you see trials and tribulation. Let's cherish each other. Just remember, all men are created equal. Thank you very much, dear. Do we have a call in line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Hi. Good afternoon, brother.
Good afternoon, sir.
So I was listening to your program about the GPL.
Uh-huh.
Yes, it's a very nice program you bring on.
Could you lower your volume on your radio, please?
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So, I think somebody called you yesterday telling you about she collected a bill and the bill mark do not pay.
Yes.
You see, but the person them don't really come out clear what happened to them. You see, since after you've been disconnected and you connected as what Mr. Charles was saying, they take a security, a sum of money for security. And that sum, in case you're not paying, so then got the money. Because it happened to me. Hear me?
Yes, we hear you very clearly.
Yeah, but you see, when you call a call, it's supposed to come out clear that they've been disconnected.
No, I don't know that, sir. The person made a statement that they receive a bill and the bill said do not pay, and they don't understand that. Yeah. I have no idea why the bill has come.
Yeah, but you see, they don't tell you that, well, they've been disconnected and then they've connected back. You understand?
Well, we have the lady in the house now. She's the manager of customer services. So I'm going to ask her, when you receive a bill that says do not pay, what does that mean?
Well, the same thing, we should tell you. One time it happened with me, the tenant they're not paying the water bill, huh?
Uh-huh.
But the water bill is medium.
Uh-huh.
And 2 years they not pay, and they come and take away the line and everything.
Uh-huh.
And when I go and rectify it, I had to pay $25,000 security.
Wow.
But because of 2 years, huh?
Yeah.
And they're not taking the chance. At least they got over a year payment. And then they send the bill, do not pay.
All right, no problem. There's a question for GPL and any statement so I could have her answered.
No, I have a prepaid meter, sir, and I monitor, I listen to see. People must monitor their current.
I agree with you.
You live by yourself, you monitor your current, man. And then you pay cheaper. You can't I got a neighbor live kind of me. He got some bulb, $100 for one.
Uh-huh.
But them bulbs eat about 3 kilowatt or 4 kilowatt a night.
Uh-huh.
Because it's cheap, they buy it. They don't buy the and the guys in bulb. And she just come and tell me, man, look how much money me got to pay, $15,000. I said, girl, when me go home in the morning from work, Sometimes it be 8 o'clock and you light still not come off as yet. You expect to pay, you got to expect to pay them kind of money because them bulbs are each current. These people bring bulbs now that you pay $500 for a bulb and you get 80% less. And I know that is true, but people can't want to burn the current and I want to pay the money.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's certain tips that you could do. All right, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. No, one more thing, man. This water, this rainfall last night, very serious.
Uh-huh.
And Monday, we had a rainfall again, Monday gone, and the place is flooded. And I call in the NDC at and more, and they start telling me, but when me blaspheme them a Gildarie, we blaspheme them.
Uh-huh.
That what you blaspheme are we for? Anyway, the water draft in a jiffy time. But last night rain, imagine we have a pump, never pump the whole area. It's just the scheme alone. His Excellency Jagdeo gave us the pump. I have a letter, I have written him for a pump, and the man gave us a pump. And the pump, when I talked to the man Monday, he asked me what tide how the tide out there. Imagine the chairman asked me what the tide out there, but the pump is not working with tide. This pump is over the seawall. I got a pipe over the seawall.
All right, no problem. I answer you. I will answer you off here when you would have been off. I know the exact problem that you talk about here.
Yes, because we talk about them in front of you know.
But that's wrong. If the NDC is complaining that you don't have a right to call any radio station to complain, the NDC is out of order for doing that.
That's why I tell you.
Who told you that at the NDC?
The same man, I give me my number and I call him and then he go tell me.
No. You can't. They can't say that to you. Although he might be angry with you, he can't say that to you. All right, thank you very much.
You know something? When His Excellency David Granger was there for 5 years, we had this kind of rainfall, and we hadn't this flood because we got a pump for drain our area alone, nowhere else.
Well, I don't know what the technicalities of that. What I could tell you is that the intensity of the rainfall has a lot to do with water accumulated and so on.
We know that, but what are we saying? That if he's the chairman, he asks me what tide.
Y'all gotta stop. Listen to me very carefully. Y'all gotta stop this thing here, right? I don't understand. You've been calling and you've been talking about the chairman all the time and so on. What I suggest you do is, because you should make a complaint to the local government minister, and because I'm getting a little tired that I'm not sure why our citizens got to be fighting. And it is. I'm not saying that to you. What I'm just saying, I think there's some way that we could get along with each other. And if he's like that, complain to the Minister of Local Government. I think Nigel Lamland. No, you have to. You have to.
When the PNC was in there, we never had this problem because they were frightened that they would get pushed out. But since that their person was running this show now.
Write me a letter to the newspaper and I'd be happy to publish it if you're willing to put your name on it.
Yes, sir. Consider water 3 inches from my bed.
No problem, sir. Thank you very much.
3 inches from my bed, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir.
Thank you very much. I think you would have heard. I think we have to head to a break, a very quick break. You tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio with your host Leonard Gildarie. In the studio right now is Miss Sylvina Charles, Manager Customer Relations of the Guyana Power and Light. Do not touch those dials. We will be back with you in a very short while.
The Guyana Lottery Company is making every effort to protect our valued players and staff from the spread of the coronavirus. We are doing our part with placing signage at our agents countrywide, ensuring regular sanitization of terminals, and recommending that operators use masks at all times. We now require that all players also wear masks, wash their hands for 20 seconds, then dry with paper towels provided before purchasing tickets at our offices. Please observe and stand on the floor markers as you wait your turn. Then speak clearly to the cashier, check and collect your tickets, and depart. To observe a social distancing, only 10 persons at a time will be allowed to enter our offices. Let's all be safe. And remember, a ticket a day could make you rich today.
Public advisory. GPL wishes to advise all customers and the general public that due to the ongoing heavy rainfalls and strong winds, our company anticipates that some communities will experience localized faults. Consequently, customers are advised that our emergency team is on standby to act swiftly to restore power to affected areas. Further, customers who may experience a localized fault are asked to call our 24/7 call center on 226-2600 to report a localized fault. To this end, GPL will continue to work assiduously to provide reliable supply of electricity to all stakeholders.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the Wake Up Guyana show right here on Kaieteur Radio. Your host, Leonard Gildarie, and we are tuned into Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5. Also coming to you live on Facebook, Kaieteur Radio Facebook, and Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. We have with us in the studio today on the Wake Up Guyana show, Sylvina Charles, Manager Customer Services of the Guyana Power and Light Inc. And there were some questions shortly before we headed to the break. And she's going to answer that because I know that she's very busy, have to head off to some other things, GPL business, of course. But she have some statements, some very important statements. And we will continue to keep you engaged with GPL. They're very important to us, and we need to know what it is that they're doing. Over to you, Ms. Charles.
All right. Thank you, Leonard, again. The last caller would have mentioned on a bill, if you see do not pay, therefore your bill is in credit for whatever reason. Your bill could be in credit because you might have overpaid, paid the bill before it actually generated. Your bill can be in credit because we might have gotten an actual reading and we did an adjustment on your account, and you found with that adjustment, you're in a position where you have more funds on your account, meaning we owe you other than you owe us. So once your bill is in credit, it's just stating that once you see do not pay, it just means your bill is in credit. So you check the total charges at the bottom of your bill and you check CR. As I'm speaking on total charges, there are some customers who check current charges all the time alone. And they come in, Leonard, and they would pay the current charges only. Now, if for whatever reason that they did not get a bill a month, say, for example, maybe the post girl or postman might have sticked it in the gate and it blew away for whatever reason, and they didn't realize that they did not pay that bill that month, and they pay the current charges that month, the next month, then they have the previous month bill outstanding. So a lot of persons come in and say, man, I check my current charges, I'm paying every month, how come, right? I owe something at the bottom here, your total charges. So always check your total charges. You can also sign into GPL, our website that I mentioned before, www.gplinc.com. You put in your customer number, your account number that is shown on your bill, and you will be able to get your balance and a little history on your account. So you would see how the payments, because a lot of persons come in simply to say that, okay, I paid this bill before, how come the balance hasn't come off of it? I paid it already. Now, the thing is that when you pay the bill, maybe you would have called in, right, and find out what your balance was. At that time, the bill did not generate, well, the bill would have already generated, gone into the post, right? So when you got the bill, it was generated in the post on its way to you. And then you made that payment. So obviously your payment would not reflect on that bill, right? So you have a lot of simple queries like that. For simple queries, as I said, you can log into our website. You put in your customer number, your account number, and you would be able to see your payment being reflected on the account, right? Additionally, for persons who might have that issue, like the postman or the post lady would put the bill in the gate, we also have e-billing, right? You can sign up for e-billing. If you're a person, you always check your email on a daily basis, you could sign up for e-billing and we would be able to send you the bill via email. So we have all these initiatives because we've listened to our customers. And these are things that are put in place to better our service to our customers. I touched on the do not pay. The customer also mentioned an important point, to conserve on electricity. In the areas that we would have had the power upgrade utility program, right? You might have had customers who would have gotten low bills before, like the one mentioned $500 per month or $1,000 per month. Now, these areas were first targeted because you find that we had either the low line losses, the most effective meter, or the most estimated reads for whatever reason. So we would have changed the meter, we would have upgraded the area. So instead of you having a $400 or $500 bill, which would have meant it is a defective meter, or you're being you're underestimated, right? So now you're getting an accurate bill, right? So you notice those customers who would have had $500 a month, they install AC because the bill is not much, right? So they install AC, they buy the 65-inch television, they bought the nice big double-door, triple-door refrigerator. But now when your bill is reflecting accurately, right, you find that you need to conserve. So customers, once you're out there are a lot of energy-efficient appliances out there. They're inverter type. They might be a little bit more, but however, in the long run, it costs you much less, right? So you're not being penny-wise, pound-foolish, but you're being smart, right? In the long run, it costs you much less to have the energy-efficient appliances. Another issue that, the caller would have called about the claims, that I would have explained how to go about the claim for damages, right? Collect the form at any one of our customer service center. Now, if you did not call in, right, but you notice you had a damage, right, and it would have affected the area. More than likely, it's affecting the area if there was a blown transformer and you did not call in, and you called in after the fact and you said on the 10th this happened, but you don't have a reference number, we do not rule you out. What we do, we try to assist you. We try to see if there are other calls in the system from customers, like your neighbor might have called in. So if they would have called in and we went to rectify the problem, we would have used their reference number and said this was the issue, right? So we look out for our customers. We try our best to do what is right once we are negligent. But customers, some have internal faults, because a lot of claims maybe we might have paid, but there are more that we do not pay because they have internal faults. Internal faults mean in Guyanese public, they're not fully aware that every 10 years, you're supposed to check your wiring.
I was about to raise that issue. You're supposed to, and what does the law say? Every 10 years?
Every 10 years. I spoke to Mr. Barkley. He said every 10 years, they come, they check. You don't need to rewire, right? But you can get onto the GI, right? And they will come, they will do a check, and they will tell you if everything is okay. You could even go now, even if you feel a little way about it, and they would come and perform the inspection.
Free?
Sorry?
Yes.
I don't know the fees, sorry.
Well, let me just repeat what Ms. Charles is saying there. If you could be in your house, and it could be because something in your house, it just burned down just like that. And when they found out, it could be that a rat went up in the ceiling, and maybe bite to why it's arcing there, and whenever that arcs, it sparks and soda fly, and it could be sending, and it sends a feedback into your stuff. So it might not necessarily be the GPL's fault. It is something, and in any case, your problem that you have there could shut down the entire neighborhood too, because it sends a feedback somewhere. I would have spoken to Bardindia, the current CEO of GPL, on several occasions, and he was explaining some of these things to me. But what is important, I think what Ms. Charles would have said there, is that every couple of years, every 10 years or so, you have an inspection. If you have sealing and so, unless you have your stuff there in those little wrong wires, I think the conduits, the wires are placed on those wrong pipes. Make sure that you still check all the connections and everything to the various areas, and just do that. It is important that you do that. It might, for the sake of $5,000-$10,000, you're going to save your entire house. So I would want to say, if there's anything else, that over to you, Ms. Charles, before we head off. I think that's it.
There's another. We've had some persons contacting us about the capital contribution. When you apply for service, right? Once you apply, we have an obligation. Well, GPL, given our standard terms and conditions for electric service, we're responsible for 60 feet of wire, and once it's under 60 amps at the premises. Now, if it's over 60 amps, there might be some sort of capital contribution that is required, especially if it's not an area slated for system improvement in a given period. So customers might have to pay a capital contribution. For example, if you set up an apartment building and you have over 60 amps going, you have 4 apartments there. So you have 230 amp service, and you're applying for another 230 amp so that you can rent the place out. You might find yourself that you have to pay capital contribution to have the infrastructure extended in a way, right? Now, the thing is, customers like that, sometimes you need a dedicated transformer because you might put load on what we have existing already for the customers that is there. So what we do a site visit, right? And we calculate what the cost will be. We will, in most instances, we stand past part of that cost and you pay part, right? Mm-hmm. But the capital contribution might have be a question for most persons when they come in. Why? Right?
Right. Mm-hmm. I know that this issue would have been raised in the past because if you have a house that's living maybe 100 to 300 feet away from the road and it's not being served and so on, there's going to be a number of poles that have to be to be planted and so on for that wire for the cable to be strong to your home. So that's very, very clear. And so I think it's come down time for us to call today here with GPL, Ms. Sylvina Charles, Manager Customer Services of the Guyana Power and Light. I want to say thank you very much, ma'am, and to you and your team, and to Chevion Sears and so on, the rest of them who've been coming here. Like I've always said, this program here is open to all utilities company and any like-minded organizations who want to come here and maybe share, make people aware, to educate them and so on, or what are some of the procedures and the processes. We're more than happy to accommodate them here. So thank you very much, and if we don't talk back, I must say Merry Christmas to you and the rest of the staffers at GPL. We look forward to engaging you in the new year. And, of course, a prosperous new year to you and your family as well. Okay, ma'am?
All right. Mr. Gildarie, I must say thank you for giving us a voice, that we're able to listen to our customer concerns, and we have a voice that we can speak back and let them know what we're doing for them. You might have heard the ad that we had just now, that we have rapid response. I want persons to know that we've boosted the amount of teams that we have for this particular period, and we have a critical response time that we boost the team by over, I think, 5 teams we've introduced over the Christmas season because we know what the weather is like. So we're hoping a better response around this time from previous years, right? So we're doing that for Guyana, and we wish you a Merry Christmas, and we hope that we forge a better relationship. You forge a better relationship with Guyana Power and Light.
I thank you very much for that, and have a pleasant rest of the day. Ms. Sylvina Charles, Manager of the Customer Services Department of the Guyana Power and Light, Inc., state-owned Guyana Power and Light, Inc., and they're engaging the people, showing the different side of GPL than what we would have known over the years. They're taking things to the people, taking services to the people. And very quickly, you tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show as normal. Whenever we have this show, it takes us beyond the normal course of things, and we can't take us so many calls as we would normally do. I think there's a call online. Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Is this
It's Kaieteur Radio, and you're on to the Wake Up Guyana show.
Oh yeah, okay. It says greetings to you and the staff and everyone, my brother.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
I just heard that the GPL lady has just gone, but I was calling and the phone was just ringing out. I have a problem, you know.
Well, she's here, and maybe you got very because we closing down now.
Okay,
very quickly, you
now.
could tell her quickly.
GPL, they came. I didn't have an account in the house, and they came, and I went in the meter, right, and they break the seal. And I was complaining to them. I did call you once before now, though.
Yes, she's gonna give her your number. Give us a number right now.
I need them to come and seal back my meter. I'm really worried about that.
6. What's the number?
My number, my phone number.
Yes.
220-9799.
GPL will call you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and enjoy your Christmas and a Happy New Year to you.
Yeah,
okay?
and the same to you, my brother. You take care then, right?
Thank you very much, dear. So GPL would have been in the house, came back into the house, and so very quickly, good afternoon. I'm the person who messaged you about a GPL post on the Pomona, Escobar Coast. A lady called to ask about my problem, and she said she would have me call. She would have called me back, but didn't. And I told her the post, so it would answer. I'm going to pass this over to GPL, so they could probably be able to deal with that issue on the Pomona area there on Escobar Coast there. So very quickly, housekeeping matters here. This evening, 7:20, Glenn Lal, publisher of Kaieteur newspaper, would be a guest along with Vice President Dr. Bart Jagdeo on the Guyana's Oil and You program being hosted by senior journalist of Kaieteur News, Kiana Wilberg. And they're going to be talking about oil, and it's almost a last big show of that nature in which a very senior official is being put under the, well, not necessarily under a microscope. There are questions and there's supposed to be answers, and there's nobody else better to ask those questions to than a very experienced man, somebody who's been around for a little while and is back now in a very senior position within government. Former President Bart Jagdeo now in the Vice President position, with some very good in-depth knowledge of the oil industry and what's happening, and he will be answering some of the questions that are going to be posed to him, and maybe offering his opinion on a couple of things here. It's going to be pretty interesting because Glenn Lal is going to be in the house, and he's very opinionated when it comes to stuff, anything to do with oil and gas. Very passionate about it, and so we will be looking forward, everybody tuned in to that program, which was supposed to take place last week, and it is going to be taking place this week here, right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 if you're in Berbice, and it is going to be on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, also Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube as well. And so we look forward to that at 7:20 p.m. sharp, right here on Kaieteur Radio. So very quickly, we could probably put in a couple of messages from our people here. I need a job for the boss. The lady could tell me how I could go about it. You'd have to apply to GPL if you need a job for your boss, 225-1471, and they would direct you to if you need a job. But this is not a place for it. Looking for some help, only done 2 weeks. Okay, this is a road. Hi, good afternoon. A couple of months ago, my light was out. My house was out of light. I called GPL to change the current line and told them I think he's a good kid way down, although it's all talks. He talks in the corner there. We don't know what he's saying. But he's going to be in the house with me tomorrow. We're going to have some surprise guests and tons of gifts giveaway. Be with us as we party into Christmas 2020. We have something to party. We have something to celebrate because we have made it through, at least for a very tough year. We don't know what next year brings, but we are very positive about it. And we're going to stand strong together as we go forward in this beautiful country of ours. And we want to say to all, make sure that you enjoy yourself, that you prepare yourself, that you wear your mask. We may not, like I said before, have all that we want, but we have what we need right about now, okay? So make sure if you have something extra, share it with somebody who don't have, because it makes us better human beings to be able to do that. So I am going to say to you, see you. It is the Wake Up Guyana Show. It was the Wake Up Guyana Show edition for today with your host Leonard Gildarie right here on Kaieteur Radio. I want to say thank you very much to Kevin Smith at the controls, and somewhere in the corner, sitting somewhere, is W.R. Riaz, and we would have had here also Sylvina Charles, Manager Customer Relations of GPL, and to all you wonderful folks out there right across Guyana and wherever you join us from, have a pleasant rest of the day or night, because some people are in some places where it's dark right now. Have a pleasant rest of the day.